listen to this. Poeta was super set on playing one song the whole year on repeat. So O'Connor's the man. Like, he will bring you in the room and beat the crap out of you until you're tough, which I'm super thankful for. When it comes to handball, we're having fun. We're playing hard. They get a little intense when handball comes on.
They
Right?
do.
They get upset when you drop a ball. You see. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry.
Is he a first-round draft pick in handball too?
He can be. He can be. Yeah. I actually live with him. I don't know if I got to take down my first year. I don't know about 2 weeks for you. I got to wrestle in the duel against Ohio State, and I haven't got a takedown in a month. I can't believe I just did that. I got my first 3 takedowns of college career and in the match and not in the room. Bobby Witt Jr. is one of his clients. William Contreras. He had Jose Altuve for a while. My dad's old enough that he represented Randy Johnson, Wade Boggs.
2025 NCAA Qualifier at 141 pounds and returning this year for his final season at Illinois, folks. We have Danny Pucino on the show. Folks, this is BEG Wrestling. We are here. And Danny, thanks for joining the show, man. How you feeling after this past season?
Hey, first, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Super excited about this. I feel good. Obviously didn't quite end how I wanted to, but looking forward to making improvements this offseason and having another year ahead of me.
Okay, the first question I've really got to ask you. So what ties does your family exactly have in the mafia? Dom keeps bringing on all these Italians on here, man.
Oh, we have all the ties. No, unfortunately, none. I guess that's actually fortunately I have no ties.
Okay,
He's just saying that.
That's good. That's what
I was just made aware of your middle name. What's your middle name, Danny?
Alexander, but it's like Al Pacino, the actor, so I just go by
Danny Al Pacino, folks. Oh my goodness! Don't mess with him. No, I'm just kidding. But hey, man, listen.
Oh man,
you mentioned it. You kind of didn't finish the year the way you wanted to. Are you healthy right now though, and going in the off season?
Yeah, I'm healthy. So training's gonna pick back up here on actually tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Feeling good, excited, but getting old at the same time.
yeah. I was about to ask, what is obviously every school does it different. What is your guys's, or you specifically? What is after nationals? How does that go the next few weeks? Like, when do you start picking up training again? Are you lifting? Like, talk us through what you're doing right after the NCAA tournament, getting back home.
Yeah, so I was doing a lot of running. Right after I started running right away and lifted on my own. But today we have a meeting and we're going to discuss like training, and it's going to all be programmed to each guy. So some guys are a little big, right? So they're going to have to focus on their diet and just wrestling a lot this off season. Some guys are small. They're going to have to lift a lot to get ready for this next season. So it's programmed to everyone. Me, I'm just going to be lifting and wrestling, doing some running on the side. Super excited that. Looking forward to working on my mat wrestling with Coach Hunter. I need to get better on top so I can ride guys out a lot longer.
Are you planning to do any freestyle for Italy this year or no?
I would love to. Like I was really wanting to wrestle in the European Championships this weekend, but unfortunately I wasn't able to go to the Italian national tournament because of our Big Ten season. We wrestled Ohio State the same day, so that's unfortunate. I might ask to get thrown in for a ranking series tournament if the 65 kilo guy decides to not wrestle in it. But it's just how it goes. They're pretty keen on having the guy wrestle that won the nationals.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. That's something we can expect to see in the future. Some freestyle out of you. But I want to kind of back up to kind of you first going to Illinois and kind of head coach Poeta there, because I looked up and it looks like he kind of took over the program, I guess at the same time you kind of came into the program. So my first question, kind of what is your relationship like with head coach Poeta, and was he really heavily involved with recruiting you there in the first place?
Yeah, so actually, I wrestled for Poeta when I was up until I was a freshman in high school, and he went over to the University of Illinois here and was an assistant coach. And he did push Coach Heffernan, who was the prior head coach, to Poeta to recruiting me, and I saw Coach Heff come watch me wrestle at some tournaments, and I got to have a good relationship with Heff, and then they started recruiting me, and when I got here, it was Coach Heff's last year, but no one knew. And then Coach Heff announced his retirement, and Poeta took the program over. And ever since then, it's been going up and up. Poeta's first year, he was a head coach, and he did a good job. But there was room for improvement for us and him, and he made steps in the right direction each year. And he's running the program like a seasoned veteran head coach now. So he's come a long way. I'm really really proud of him and thankful I have him in my corner.
Now, I looked him up. So you're telling me you were part of the Poeta Training Center there in high school?
Team
Poeta
Factory.
Training Center, yeah. So the Wrestling Factory / Poeta Training Center, and then when he left, it became built by Brunson. So I wrestled for Zach Brunson, who's actually an All-American here at the University of Illinois.
Okay, you and Dom have wrestled, right?
Me and
No, we've
Dom
never
have
wrestled.
We actually never wrestled in a match, but we've trained together quite a few times.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I figured
See,
that. Who wins?
Danny gets the best of me now. But
I don't
no,
know.
Dan, we did
I don't
wrestle.
know.
Dan, we did
Is it,
wrestle. Hey, way back
where?
when. You were probably
Oh
like
yeah.
sixth
You
or
you
seventh
beat me.
grade.
You
Hey, so
beat me
Danny
pretty
had a
good.
late growth spurt and became a beast towards the end of his career in middle school and high school. No, Danny was always tough. Did you always know that you were going to go to Illinois? Because I mean, you were with Poeta ever since you were very very little. Did you always know that you were going to go there? I don't know if you took any other visits and stuff. I know we were going to be teammates at one point.
Yeah. So honestly, I was not even really thinking University of Illinois. I was just young and I was wrestling and I wanted to get recruited by everybody. And right when the recruiting process started, I had a handful of schools, reach out to me pretty quickly. And University of Illinois was like the only one that was like super, super forward about their recruiting because I was, only a sophomore in high school. And when Poeta came here, I was like, I have to go here. Like that was my coach growing up. That's my guy. Um, I'd be so comfortable right away in a program where I know that I have someone who's always got my back. As opposed to where if I go to another school that I like the coaches and I like the guys, you don't know if you're seeing the true personality of the coach when you're getting recruited. But I know Poeta's personality and I know what kind of person he was before I came here. So it was a super comfortable fit right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good at talking guys into stuff, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, he's really good at it.
Well, I mean, I looked him up, and he had a pretty significant impact on the whole community, and it sounds like that influence, had its way on you. But I want to ask you about a couple other coaches that are in the room. I know you mentioned
Yeah,
Coach
absolutely.
Hunter, who I guess you
hmm
mentioned. I guess that's who you mainly train with, or whatever. But what about we got Isaiah Martinez, and also like Austin O'Connor in the room? Like, what kind of relationship do you have with either of them?
Yeah. So Coach Hunter's my lightweight guy. He's helped the lightweights out a ton. Um, I wouldn't be where I'm at without him at all. I can't thank him enough. That's my guy. Austin O'Connor. I started working with him recently this year, and he's been a huge help for me. Mentality and you know short offense, so getting guys in the front heads, go behinds, technique like that. O'Connor's the man. Like he will bring you in the room and beat the crap out of you until you're tough, which I'm super thankful for. And then when you're, cutting weight and you're close to competition, he'll take it a little bit easier on you, which super thankful for. But he helps a ton. He's a great coach. He was really young when he came in right away, and I'm surprised how good of a coach he is right away because you never know what you're going to get with a guy straight out of college.
Sure.
If they can put the ego aside or whatnot, and he does a really good job about that.
Hmm.
Has he showed you any crushers yet?
He's done the crushers. He'll put you in a front head, and he'll cover your mouth, like this,
Yep.
and so you can't breathe and you start panicking, and that one's a lot of fun to be in.
He did a camp
To be
back home and showed
running
like
through your life.
6 different variations of it. It's wild. It's wild.
Poeta says it the best. Poeta says it the best way. IKWF is stand for Illinois Kids Wrestling Federation, so it's the youth wrestling in Illinois. And Poeta goes, yeah, Austin O'Connor won the NCAA tournament with a bunch of IKWF moves. A crusher, a 3/4. He'll just snap your head into the mat. Like he won the NCAA tournament with a bunch of IKWF moves because he's just
Yeah.
so
Dude,
damn tough.
Beat
Austin might
Levi
be the only
Haynes,
5-time.
right?
He did. Yeah,
Yeah,
in
he
the
won
2 years ago
IKWF.
or
He won
3 years ago.
IKWF every time.
Hmm.
Well, you're
Yeah,
only allowed to win it 4 times, and he won it 5.
because he bumped up, right?
Something happened. You'll only win it 4 times, and he won it 5. That's all I'm saying.
Huh.
He'll figure a way out to win it 5 times. Then he's a two-time
I
NCAA
think he
champ,
We'll have to get him
four-time
on.
All-American.
Have
Yeah,
to get him on and ask him
yeah.
about
You
it.
have that's a
did.
that's a good one to have on.
Yeah.
We'll get him on here.
Well, listen, man. Now you're
Yeah,
talking
he's
about in the
crazy.
room. I want to get in the room with you, and because we just watched Lucas Bird go through and win a championship, so I want to ask you,
Yeah.
like, obviously you practice with him, right? How much practice time did you spend with Lucas Bird, and what kind of impact has it had on maybe your approach to next season now that you've literally just witnessed someone go through and become a national champion?
Yeah, he's been a huge help to me, just about getting tougher. We wrestled a lot in the beginning of the season, and then towards the end of the season, we would wrestle like only like once a week, because I started going more with Webster. I started going more with the bigger guys. But no, I was wrestling him a ton in the beginning of the season. And then I, got my butt kicked enough to where I was like, I need to take a break from Lucas Bird for a little bit, and wrestle other guys. But no, he was a huge help for me. Seeing him win a national title was so cool. Huge confidence booster just because that's a guy, I give a match to. Some days we go back and forth. A lot of days he beats the crap out of me. So it's boosted my confidence a ton. Lucas, is the man. He's a huge help for me, especially on bottom because I had a tough time getting out on bottom, and he's really talented on top. So that also was confidence booster when I started getting out from under him.
Speaking of season, take us through what your week looks like, and then kind of like on match day, kind of what you're doing to prep for, especially the Big Ten schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the beginning of the week looks like, it's going to be a tougher practice, right? Monday, say we wrestle on Friday. Monday and Tuesday are going to be tougher. Monday is going to be a high pace drill day. And then Tuesday, we're going to be getting after doing some live. Uh, Practice isn't going to be long week of, right? It's going to get in, get the work in, and then get out. And then we, Wednesday is calming down, right? It's just going to be come in, spar, do some technique. Thursday's the day before, so it's going to be all on your own, right? You're just going to be coming in and just doing what you got to do to get the weight off. That usually consists of me just rolling with either O'Connor or Hunter. If I'm going with Hunter to cut my weight, we usually start the practice by he just tries to submit me, tries to choke me out, and I try not to get choked, and that's how your sweat starts. And then it's just we literally look like little kids, bullying each other for the rest of practice, and then practice is over and you lost 5 pounds because you were just messing around, right? And most of those days we start practice with handball. So we're playing a game. We're just keeping it lighthearted. At the end of the day, wrestling's just a game, and it's a game you want to do well in, but it is just a game, and you gotta have fun and enjoy it. Now, a wrestling match isn't necessarily fun, but you definitely learn how to enjoy it. But that doesn't mean practice doesn't have to be fun once in a while.
Yeah.
Real fast before Zach takes over, are you like a first round pick in handball, or like you lower down the chain?
I'm a second rounder. First rounder,
Second rounder?
Yeah, first round usually goes to the Harrier, Bird, Kanzler, just because they got a little bit more heart in the game than I do. Some days when you're cutting weight, my heart's not in the game like it should be. Now, if we're playing soccer or wiffle ball, my heart's fully in. I'm half in, half out some days, and that's why they leave me second, third round.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's awesome, man. I was going to ask you, I'm glad Dom asked. I was going to ask you about the culture of Illinois wrestling. What's the culture like? Sounds like you guys have fun, man. So, what about some of the people in the room? Like, what about, like, the Bernagle bros, right? Are they just like tough as
Yeah,
nails every day? What are they like?
tough as nails every day, but they can have fun. They're really good. They're really good guys. You know, when it comes to handball, we're having fun. We're playing hard. They get a little intense when handball comes on,
They
right?
do.
They get upset when you drop a ball. You know, you see, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I throw out a few apologies every game when I drop, and then I get in my head. Then I'm all worried about dropping the ball because they're mad at me, you know. But they mean well. They're just having fun. They're just very intense with everything they do, and that's how you gotta be when you want to be really successful. And obviously, you can see that they've had a very successful career, the both of them, and they're both not done wrestling, so they'll both still be around training both freestyle and Greco. Zach made a United States World Team in 2023 or 2023, along with Zane Richards when he made the World Team.
Yeah.
Yep. Are they still on
Yeah.
aux? Does Zach still get aux in the room, or how's it going nowadays?
Yeah, so we went through this thing last year. Listen to this. Poeta was super set on playing one song the whole year on repeat. So
Oh,
I was like, what are we? And he tries to explain that. He tried to say that, and there's science behind it.
I've
That
watched studies on it. Yeah.
it reduces anxiety. But every time I heard this song, I had an anxiety attack. So I don't know how that works because I was so sick of the song. It was the song "Monsters" by Eminem and Rihanna, and for the whole last season, repeat every practice.
No way.
I was super tired. Yeah, I swear. And every time it
That's a
came
song
on,
Mike
everyone
picked.
wanted to cry. Yeah, right. And then this year, Brangles were back on Aux. Edmund was back on Aux. I was on Aux day before matches. I like it, keeping it fun, keeping it moving. So we would play what's called the Big Booty Remix, and it's just those mashups that those guys
Which
do.
which volume? Which volume? That's a real question. Like you
I
playing
I
14,
was
15,
volume.
16?
I was 15, 16, 17, 18. So those were mine.
Yeah. When it gets to the 20s, it gets a little, gets a little different these days. But
Yeah,
those are good
like
ones.
it's dicey. Yeah, it's all
Yeah, it
changed
gets a little
up. I
dicey.
like the throwbacks.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. No,
Yeah.
That
someone
is.
else I wanted to ask you. What about Cannon Webster? You mentioned you changed over your practicing with him. That youngster, expectations for him. Is he a first round draft pick in handball too?
He can be. He can be. Yeah. I actually live with him. This is his dad bought this house and we're renting from his dad. But Cannon's he's a good handball player, very talented. He's long. He can get his arms up there. He is a first, second rounder. Sits
He
right
is long.
right where I am, depending on who the captains are. Cannon's his heart is huge when it comes to everything he does, from video games to handball to the wrestling mat. He does everything 1,000%. And half the times I can't sleep because he's cussing, playing uh, Call of Duty down there, screaming.
Call of Duty.
But he
Nice.
plays it hard. He plays it hard. Yeah, and if he doesn't play well, he's gonna have a bad day. So
Well, I imagine you two are going to drive each other to higher levels next season. You
Yeah.
mentioned you're
absolutely, yeah.
practicing
He's
with him.
well. This was my last year probably practicing with him because he's going up in weight. He's gonna be pretty big, and I'm staying at the same weight class.
Okay.
There
He's
you
hitting a
go.
growth spurt right now. Yeah, he's gonna be a 57 to an 84 next year. We don't even know where he's on.
Wow.
He's got 3 weight classes.
Oh,
I
wow.
swear on my life, he is enormous right now. It's hilarious.
Speaking of
Wow.
the younger guys, like when they come in, like the freshman group this year, like do you take it easy on them? Do you beat the crap out of them? And like next year you're gonna be a sixth year. Like, are you looking
Yeah.
to like kind of put them in their place? Like, how does that look coming in?
Obviously, obviously, every time you wrestle him, you got to take it to him as hard as you can. A lot of the freshmen have trouble with a high intensity. You can break them, uh, usually a lot quicker, but they get the hang of it, really quick, especially in our room because they're wrestling a lot of good guys. And then they start bringing it back. But yeah, you got to put it on them. You got to make a statement. You got to let them know who's the boss right away. But I'm always there to help guys, and I'm always there to give advice, and I'm always there if they ever need anything outside the room. I always want to be there for them. But in the room, we're gonna wrestle. You know.
Yeah. How was your first 2 weeks? Like, did you get sorry, Zach, did you get any like takedowns on people or anything like that? Like
I
now that I'm thinking about it.
my first 2 weeks was miserable. I don't know if I got a takedown my first year. I don't know about 2 weeks for you, but it was my this funny story was I had to Dylan Duncan was a starter. It was my first year. I was redshirting, and I was bouncing between Lucas Bird, uh, NCAA champ, Dylan Duncan, NCAA All American, and Michael Carr, who was round of 12. He was always in the running. He was the one seed at Big Tens. He was a Big Ten finalist. And that was who I had to rotate between. And I was getting so much better, but I was getting the snot beat out of me. The beat out of me. And they told me, hey, Duncan's hurt this week. You got to wrestle D'Amelio from Ohio State, who's an All American. And I was like, I got to wrestle. At the time, he's not an All American yet, but he went on to All American. But I got to wrestle. I got to wrestle in the duel against Ohio State, and I haven't gotten a takedown in a month. And I was so down on myself, and I ended up going out there and beating him and winning.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, oh great, I can't believe I just did that. I got my first 3 takedowns of my college career, and in the match, and not in the room. But
Wow.
it was definitely a hard first couple weeks down. What was it like for you?
I did not get a takedown for at least in that Illinois room the first probably 2-3 weeks. And what I remember is because Zane was training, and I had to keep going with Zane over and over and over again. I would have a partner, and Zane would come get me, and it was right before Fargo. Actually, it was the summer, and I got one takedown on him finally. And I remember being at Fargo, and he's like, Doc, why don't you take down all these guys? You took me down one time. But it was a pain trying to get a takedown.
Zane's
It
a
really
tough
was.
cookie,
That
man.
Illinois room is no
Zane's a tough
joke.
cookie.
It's really no
No,
joke. I'm
it's
serious.
tough. That's the Big Ten,
Yeah.
especially now. It's getting so good. I'm a sixth year now, and I'm having trouble beating guys some days. It's like it's tough, but it's not about what, like Dom will tell you. It's not about what you do in the room. It's like different than other sports. It doesn't translate out there necessarily. Like I saw the Branagles, some days get their butt beat by everybody, and then they go out there and tear it up just because they wrestle so hard. Like in the room, they're not afraid to make mistakes, and they go out there. They might give up a couple takedowns, but that's all right because they go out there and they wrestle just as hard in a match, and it's different when you wrestle just as hard in a match as you
100%.
do in practice. Good things happen, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
100%.
Man, that's fascinating. Brutal being a freshman wrestler in college, folks. But kind of
And Big Ten.
Yeah, especially in Big Ten. And it sounds like the Illinois room is just getting better and better. But what I want to talk about kind of off that, you got Lucas Bird, who's graduating now. Is there going to be a void?
He's got another year.
He's got one more year.
Oh, never mind.
He had
Okay.
he had a medical.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never mind. I was going to ask, like, who are the leaders in the locker room kind of next season? I expect it to be Lucas Burr, but sometimes that's not always the case. The best wrestler. Who are some of the leaders in the Illinois locker room?
Yeah, no, Burr's definitely a leader. Luke Luffman's also another leader. I'd like to consider myself a leader, just like the older guys, the guys I like to lead by example. But yeah, Luffman's another really, really talented wrestler. He's at heavyweight. He's got one more year, and he leads by example. He works really hard, and he's stubborn in his wrestling, right? Like he's super tough, and it's super cool to see guys like that because you become tougher when you have to take the part a little bit, right? Because these guys are so talented and so tough, and they're great leaders. So you got to just do the same thing, and it makes you tougher.
Yeah. Also, Edmund Ruth in that room. But listen, I looked up next season. Your preseason ranked number 12 by WrestleStat 141. I don't know. Do you know that? What are your goals going in next season?
I did not know that. That's pretty cool, though. My goal is just to get on. I want to get on the podium and ultimately win an NCAA title. And so the rankings, I will tell you, do not matter. It's not like basketball or football where you just because you're ranked higher, you might have an advantage. But guys in wrestling, guys see your high ranking and they come after you so hard, and it's you gotta be able to bring it. There's a day you're not feeling well, or you don't show up, or you want to win by a point and do less. Those are the days you lose. So you got to be ready every match, no matter what you're ranked.
Yeah.
This year we saw it with a bunch of high seeds, making
know.
it to the podium and finals and all types of stuff.
Yeah, especially this
Exactly.
season.
Yeah.
And the evolving
Trevor
culture.
Chumley, I think you guys had Trevor Chumley on. He didn't care about his seed. He didn't care. He was an at-large bid. He made
20
a
seed.
run for
20
his
seed
money.
got fourth place, yeah. But, yeah.
That's what he was saying. He was like, it was a bad matchup to wrestle him. You know what I mean? As a 20
Yeah.
seed. But seats don't matter at
Yeah.
all. They literally do not
Yeah,
matter at
no.
the NCAA
There,
tournament one
people probably
whatsoever.
saw like those high seeds were probably like, oh, I got to wrestle the 20 seed. Great. Oh, it's Trevor Chumley. Dang.
Yeah.
How did this kid get the
Yeah.
20 seed? That's what they were thinking.
Hey, yeah. You've seen it
Yeah.
with a lot of All Americans this year,
Especially
being lower
Yeah,
ranked and stuff like that.
Hippolito.
for
Hippolito
sure.
didn't like it. He's from Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
And you knocked off a Virginia Tech kid this year, didn't you? At the NCAAs,
Yeah,
I believe.
Latona,
Yeah,
Latona.
Latona.
Knocked off
Yeah.
Latona. Yeah, but
Yeah.
two-time All American.
Yeah.
what
There you
hey
go.
man, what are your thoughts on all these transfer portal going on right nowadays? You're going to be staying in Illinois, right?
Yeah, I'm staying in Illinois. I love it. Uh, I don't get it. Like I get that there's money in the sport, but like I couldn't ever, stand in front of Coach Hunter or Coach Poeta or any of the coaches, Kanzer, O'Connor, Coach Medlin. I couldn't ever stand in front of them and just be like, hey, I want to leave. I don't know how guys do it. I love it here too much. I love them too much. I get it if there's something happens like there's a freshman that comes up and you can't beat them and you're not going to have a shot at starting. I understand that,
Sure.
but there's guys that are just up and leaving after programs take a chance on them, and I have a tough time understanding why they would do that. And like I said, I do understand the money aspect of things, but I'm a big believer in like the loyalty. I'm raised by older Italian parents. Loyalty is really big to me, and
Should
Coach
know
Pueta
that.
was raised by the same parent. Pueta was raised by essentially the same parents I have. An old school Italian father, and my mom's Italian, and she loves to talk just like Mrs. Pueta, and they're crazy, but they're super loyal people and loving people. So I don't understand the transfer portal as much as some of these kids do, but I see why money does talk to a lot of these people.
Yeah. I was going to ask you
How
about your
how was
father.
that? Go ahead. Yeah,
Your
same thing.
father
Even
Scott,
though he was a national champ.
yeah, at Rhode Island,
Yeah.
All-American wrestler,
All American.
All-American
Yeah.
in
All
Rhode
American.
Island. What was his
Sorry.
influence on you
He's a
when you
national
were
champ
wrestling
to us.
growing up?
Yeah. So yeah, he's a national champ to us, right? But so he was fifth in the 1976 NCAA championships, um, and he was the one seed and lost in the semis to Jack Reinwan of Wisconsin, and ended up finishing fifth at the tournament. It was huge influence, but it'd be surprising that he didn't have a huge voice in my wrestling career. Like he just stayed quiet and let me kind of choose my path. He was always there to help when I asked for advice, but he was not like a dad. Like my mom was the one who got me into wrestling. My dad didn't even really care if
Hmm.
I got into wrestling or not. And my mom's like, "Well, you were a successful wrestler. Maybe our son will be good at wrestling, and you're only going to be 5'6" so here you go. Wrestling's probably your best option." But yeah, he's been a great help and influence, but he never overstepped. He was always just there for me.
Sounds like, is your mom tough as nails?
She acts like it. She acts
What
like it.
happened to the baseball route, Dan? What happened to the baseball route? No baseball?
I liked baseball better than wrestling when I left baseball to wrestle, but I I just knew like it was going to be hard to make it at the size I was at. I don't want to do something if I'm not going to make it. I want to be all in. I want to be at the highest level. So I was like, wrestling's my best shot because you could be short, tall, fat, skinny, strong, weak. Doesn't matter. It's a sport for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Well,
true.
hey man, you got the best shot
Mm-hmm.
of your career next season. But I did notice in your bio you plan on being a sports agent after you graduate. Is that still your plans to be a sports agent?
I changed the route a little bit. That was made when I was I think that the bio was made when I was here in high school. I wanted to be a sports agent because that was what my dad did. My dad is a professional baseball agent. I actually
Wow.
had accepted a job offer this past winter for this year before I decided I was going to come back, and I was working in wealth management, so I was going to be a financial analyst or a financial advisor eventually, and I really liked the finance and the investing route, and I'm
Hmm.
not opposed to going into baseball one day, but I wanted to go the finance route after I started to mature and take classes in business and kind of change my route since when I was 18.
Okay. That's
Hey, Zach, believe
Yeah.
believe it or not, Mr. Pucino is such the man. I also wanted to be a sports agent, and I would do all of my college projects on Mr. Pucino. So
Really?
I would call
Yeah,
him up to do my
Don was always
projects on.
calling. Yeah,
Is he still an
Everything.
Don was always
active
calling
sports
Pucino.
agent?
He is. Yeah, he's winding down a little bit right now. He's kind of retiring.
Is anyone I would know maybe, or that you can share? Any clients he's had?
Yeah, yeah. So you a baseball fan? You know baseball pretty well?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bobby Witt Jr. is one of his clients. William Contreras. He had Jose Altuve for a while. My dad's old enough that he represented Randy Johnson, Wade Boggs,
What?
Gleyber Torres. He's got like 40 big
Legends.
leaguers right now. So
He's the
Oh
man.
my
He's the
goodness.
man.
yeah, some names. Yeah, Shota Imanaga on the Cubs. You know, like you've heard of his guys.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did I not
The
know
Puccino
that
family is
before this
awesome.
interview?
Yeah, he's
Oh my
awesome.
goodness,
They're
dude.
all awesome. Hey, they welcome you with open arms too and stuff like that. Like stay. You know what I mean? I've spent a few
Zacconi's
nights
been
over at
over
their house,
a
and
handful of times.
yeah, and they're awesome.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
incredible,
Yeah.
man. So I'm
Appreciate
sure
that.
you got
Yeah.
pictures of all kinds of baseball players, celebrities, man. That's
Oh, all cool stuff. I've met a lot of them too. I've been to a World Series. I've been to All-Star games. It's cool.
yeah. Well, I'm sure you have some very interesting stories to share. And folks, we're gonna come right back with a one or two. But before we do, I want to end the interview, man. Where can people go to find you at?
If you want to find my socials, I'm an Instagram guy. It's just Danny Pucino. We'll be wrestling at the University of Illinois, like you heard, we talked about for a while. So good team coming up this year. I hope you guys, stay tuned, watch us because it's gonna be a fun year.
Yeah.
Also, Danny's got some camps and stuff listed, so he's open for opportunities. We'll post
Yes.
his little picture on the screen as well.
Yep.
Right
Share it in
after.
the description,
Sweet.
folks. His contact info, where to find him at camps, and learn more. And look forward to this next season. Danny Al Pucino joins the show, folks. And coming up this year is NCAA Qualifier this past year, 141, and pretty incredible Illinois wrestling room over there. So, Danny, final thoughts, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys having me. This is an awesome up and coming show. It looks like you guys got a lot of followers already. I'm looking forward to seeing who else you have on.
Yeah, fascinating stuff, man. And folks, we'll be right back with some wrestling foul story. But Danny Pucino, folks, this is BG Wrestling. Like and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.